Man joking about replacing his wife after she cared for him during cancer. For a few years now, I've seen a guy on my morning walk, sitting outside his house, clearly in a lot of pain and struggling to breathe. I always stop for a chat to find out how he is. Finally, his health is starting to improve. He had lung cancer, and when I met him with another female friend this morning, we both remarked on how well he looked. His response was to start flirting with us, injecting sexual innuendo into our conversation. He's never done that before, and to make a joke about replacing his wife, whose health is now compromised, with another woman we all know. My friend and I were dumbstruck. He was trying to make it sound like a joke, but it was clear that he's on the lookout for a replacement now. He's on the mend and has a new lease of life. I feel so sorry for his lovely wife. There was a comment from a nurse about how many women after major surgery want to be in a care facility because when they get home they're expected to cook and clean just like normal face with symbols on mouth. This so common. They have seen death and think they should be rewarded with their porn fantasy life. An old friend gave up her job and nursed her partner through cancer. He literally said to her, "I realized I deserve someone more attractive." That was his takeaway from surviving cancer and being loved enough that someone helped him through this. I will never ever forget her telling me that. ETA, she's been happily married to a great guy for years now. This happened to my sister. She was his full-time carer during his kidney and liver problems. But when she got sick with cancer, he took off. Believe me when I say I wanted to hunt him down and make him pay. If wedding vows had realistic annotations, they would be, "In his sickness and in his health." Men are far more likely to leave an injured sick woman than the other way around. Even when those women cared for them, they remain shameless in their narcissistic, selfish ways. I hope the wife finds out sooner rather than later. She deserves to know. Especially if dear hubby brings home an STD that could actually kill her if she's already really sick. Years ago, my neighbor's wife died from cancer. A few months later, he and I are talking in his driveway. He asked for a hug. Okay, fine. MFer tried to kiss me. 1. His wife had only been dead a few months. 2. He was 40 years older than I was. 3. Gross. WTF is wrong with men? Maybe take a moment and tell him how disgusting you find his attitude. Male comments on Reddit be like, men are the disposable gender. Statistics: men leave ill wives at 6 times the rate of women leaving ill husbands. This is a known behavior. Like so known healthcare workers are aware of it. To all you married ladies, I hope you got a life insurance policy on your husband. Talk to him again, and when he starts flirting and joking about replacing his wife, shame him. Men like that need to be told off for being terrible people. My dad is no saint, but he stuck by my mom when she had cancer and when she had her hysterectomy. We didn't let her do chores, and he was literally cleaning her wound and changing her bandages several times a day. My sister and I also took over quite a bit, but he really stepped up. My sister's husband was wonderful during her pregnancy and after she gave birth. But we have also seen many other men who didn't even do the bare minimum. I don't have a partner, but I do have a support network. So very grateful for that. My dog is amazing. She knows when I am getting sick before I do and warns me. I wonder how he would have reacted if you had asked for his wife's number because you would like to date a caring person like her. I mean, since he's not interested in her anymore. I'm hoping against hope that this is a manifestation of his disease as loss of inhibition. It is most likely not. And most likely he will leave the poor woman. This is what women face in real life when all the incels cry about "you will die alone." I will probably die alone either way, dude. Dang. That guy sounds like a real jerk. Can't believe he would joke about replacing his wife after she took care of him during cancer. Some people just have no respect for the ones who love and support them. Death from lung cancer is horrible. Seen two people go this way. Hope his new woman leaves him to suffer alone after this dead cat bounce ends. I used to work with a man-child who divorced his wife while she was going through breast cancer. I was horrified someone could do that. But now as I'm older, that was like 15 years ago, I'm a lot more jaded, rolling on the floor laughing. Anytime a man makes any kind of comment like this, uninvited innuendo, demeaning of other women, etc. around me, I make sure to let them know. If it's safe, obviously. They won't change their mindset or behaviors until people make it very known how absolutely gross they are. If this ever happens again, one response I like, because it's not super confrontational or anything, is just, "Wow. I can't believe you think that's an acceptable thing to say to me." Men leaving unwell women is so common, it's incorporated into their grief counseling. I wonder if the woman he mentioned has any idea he's sizing her up as his next wife appliance. This may be too much emotional labor. But what about stopping by his house with food or other help for his wife? If Assbag says anything to you about it, you can coldly tell him, based on his remarks the other day, it sounds like she could use some friends. That's just gross. I could not imagine even thinking something like that about my wife, let alone verbalizing it. I tend to deal with things through some dark humor, but this is a bridge too far. She's got a procedure coming up, nothing terribly serious, and I've got some time off of work to help her recover and wait on her hand-foot. She's been a nervous wreck and her anxiety has her on an emotional roller coaster. I've been trying my best to keep her mind off it and reassure her that it's going to be okay. Did you shut him down and let him know how repulsive he was? I'd give him stink eye from now on. Disgusting old creeper. Only acknowledge the wife from now on. Sounds like you need to give the wife a heads up. The cue to women is, don't get a severe or chronic illness. Men will leave you. I cared for my ex after he had to have an emergency colostomy. I ended things after his reversal because I realized he took my care for granted and would have never sacrificed for me if I needed it. I had been in the hospital almost a week due to a mini stroke. It was a terrifying experience as I had lost almost all my sight in my right eye. The afternoon I got home, my husband argued with me. He was accusing me of cheating while I was at the hospital. He started shoving me around and pulling my hair. Wonderful memories. The month before that he had a knee operation. I nursed him, waited on him hand and foot. I did everything to make him as comfortable as possible. He would cry at night from the pain. I was right there with him. In sickness and in health. Joke. I work in healthcare, and I'm so conditioned to this point that I feel I would preemptively break up with a partner if I was diagnosed with a terminal illness. Currently single. But my girlfriends and family, we close the wagons. Tell his wife. Gross. His wife should replace him. That's your sign to stop talking to him. My mom is in her 70s and just had back surgery. Thank God Medicare pays for PT, OT, nurse, home health aide, and a homemaker. Otherwise I'd be pretty worried. My dad didn't think it was serious until he finally saw her 6 incisions when I taught him how to change her dressings when I had to go back to work after caring for her for 3 weeks. She deserves better. One of my closest friends had her husband leave her with their young son when she was diagnosed with lupus. He went off and found a granny to marry for her money.